Okay, so I don't really know how to start this off without starting it off like one of my YouTube videos, but this is the diorama piece that I'm working on right now. I'm starting with how it looks in Maya. Each of these are, I have the UVs open. Hold up, actually. There you go. This is the save, the 65th one, where I have them broken into bits so I can save them that way. But this isn't the one where I saved, or not saved, froze the transforms. I didn't save when I did that. I probably should have, frankly, but I figured I could just do that in a new file instead of having to kind of Frankenstein, if that's the right way to put it, this one into doing that. So each of these are their own individual pieces. I was surprised I didn't add these to it, but I combined this later. These are their own pieces. Whoops. I combined the torch to do so. The arrow, I don't know why that's still in pieces, but I think I only combined, yeah, I only combined one of them because I didn't need it to, I didn't need to like combine all of them. I just needed one because only one would be duplicated over and over again. The sword could look better. I'm not great at making blades necessarily, but I wanted to get the general idea across. Same with things like this javelin, which is maybe a little too smoothed over, if I'm being honest. Table, shield. Whoops. Not much else there, but I did export all of these individually. This area in here, real quick, I smoothed over after putting a bunch of edge loops in there, as you used to be able to see, but not now. So I could like sculpt in here. In hindsight, probably should have done this in ZBrush instead, but I'm not great with ZBrush. In fact, I have very minimal experience with ZBrush at the moment. I'd like to learn more, but that interface terrifies me, if I'm being honest. I know it's something I've got to learn eventually, but that's all. But the stairs, I didn't intend to bevel these as heavily as I did, and I don't think I can, if I could put in air quotes, unbevel them. If I can, I definitely don't know how. Speaking of don't know how, on a side note, I like to put my most used stuff up here, even though I mostly use shortcuts through, where is it? Through, see, this is, now I'm blanking on how to do it. Through, there we go, through this menu now. That's where I do all the work I do, through there generally. And I guess I could bring over the UVs just so I can know if I'm doing those properly. Let me pick something I'm actually semi happy with the UV work. Yeah, sure. So again, I didn't save it when I put it over here before, when I froze the transforms and all that, but that's how I had unwrapped it. There's probably a better way to do this, but the way I used to do it, frankly, was I would, oops, not going there yet. I would say select an object like this table, for example, and if it was a simpler, actually this is better. If it's a simpler object like this, which I said is like a map board or something like that, or whatever I want to make it, I would just, it's time consuming, but because I just do modeling really casually for now, just to get my repertoire there, I select all the faces and I normally just map them to whatever axis they're facing. So in this case, it's facing X, and I would just do that, and then I would unfold. And the last time long before I booted up Maya again last fall, I don't think the unfold feature or whatever this is here was there. I used to just go do it along U or do it along V, and frankly, I don't know what those mean. I'm going to be blunt. I don't know what those mean. When I learned how to do it in college, it was very much a crash course. But so I would just do it along U or most of the time because it looked like what I wanted, and when I would texture it, it would be what I wanted. But now it's like unfold in general. So I would just use that. But if there's a better way, then I would love to know. Beyond that, yeah. So for the most part, aside from all of that, oh, actually, real quick, what I did with to fake a back to the door was I took an edge. Well, not an edge. I made a new edge loop and put it through here, which goes through the rest of the wall. The pillars are covering up the open holes there, but I have it go through the rest there, and I just I extruded from here down. I figured that would be serviceable enough for what I was going for. Because originally I was trying to do it from the bottom, and it just didn't look right. And I figured, let me do it from the top up here and just extend that down. Again, I could probably do that better, which I'm not against remodeling everything either, which is fine. And aside from all that, that's the long and short of it for Maya. Everything was exported individually with the exception of like the larger assets. Now, as for this, which I meant to open this in a blank project, but for some reason I picked whatever the first thing I saw was, and now I have this large open world thing that I don't know how to get rid of because I don't need all of this, and I don't remember how to speed the camera up to get to the middle section here. So I'm just gonna, I made a separate, so I just made this separate area where it was just a basic world here, but like I said, I had exported the assets individually and just made a terrain with the not default, but the sandstone material to use for the ground. I really want sand. That's what I really want. I really want to use sand instead, but this is serviceable, at least for right now, until I improve this some more. I wanted these to look... At first they were too uniform, and I wanted to go with more of a ruins feel. That's why I don't mind this being kind of off on its own. I would just need to... I think I would just need to add a few more pillars to help it feel like there used to be more of a building here. But if I'm focusing strictly on the fact that this is meant to be a diorama, then all I really want to do from this point is start sculpting into the wall and the stairs and stuff to make it look less clean and all that. And then I can texture it, or maybe I texture it and then sculpt it. I don't know which one goes first, if I'm being completely honest. Normally when I model stuff, I model it, unwrap it, and then I texture it. I don't sculpt very often, but I do want to do that more because I feel like that's something that's missing from my tool set that could really help. I don't know how to control the third-person camera or character, but I wanted something that scaled, or I wanted to scale this so that it felt like it made like the if you put this in a level, the character would run up here and find stuff or find lore or something like that. That's how I wanted to set this up. I just want to check something real quick. Yeah, that. I need to figure that out. I know it's not difficult. I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. But my rambling aside, go back downstairs, please. Thank you. I'm using the default flames from the pack. So for some of these, I didn't want to light them all, but that's what I ended up doing. Beyond that, I do want to add a bit more effects, and I did download a pack or two for like rocks and trees. I think they call it the Rural Australia pack or something like that, because I'm not good at trees, and I could probably do some rocks, but I haven't done rocks before. And just for the sake of helping this look a little better, since they're not the main focus or the main centerpiece I want to focus on, I figured it'd be fine to just use it for that for now. Each of these guys are their own individual pieces, so I can throw them around in places that I didn't in the Maya file itself, which is helpful for stuff like this where I didn't even think about this until I made this area, where I'm just burying stuff in the sand. But to keep this from going any longer, that's essentially everything I've done so far with this. This is all still one unit, but I could show this. I do have, where are you? Each individual piece. Dang it. I wish I could just, is there a way I can just, yeah, thank you. I could just dock you in here. Thank you. Because I'm sick of this opening and closing every time I decide to click on something else. But I did, like I said, I exported everything individually. I'm sounding like a broken record. So I have the other version of this where I didn't give it a back wall, just to give it a bit of an open space. I have a version of it, or the same one I just threw in there actually. I have a version without the stairs and the pillars. I have stools, sword, arrow, all the bits and bobs. Oh god. Okay. I could tell Unreal wanted to crash for a second there, and I'm not going to let it. So I'm kind of just throwing them around here just to throw them around. You know what, I could put the table up here. I don't mind. I don't know why. Actually, no, I do know why that's doing that. It's not the best job I've done with that. But I'm kind of just throwing all the pieces out at this point. So yeah, that's the gist of everything I've done so far with this. The plan going forward is to do some light sculpting, see how I like some things, give some of these textures some variety textures, and I don't know what the next step is after that, if I'm being honest. Because if I keep messing around with this, I will have an area that's worth looking at, but beyond that, I don't know what else I do. I do have another idea for another diorama, but I'd rather finish this one first before I, skip to my loot to the next one. But, yep, that's it. This thing looks so lonely over here. That's it. Thank you.